If your neighbor's tree falls on your yard, you're probably already dialing their number. Ever wonder why your neighbor isn't panicking, but you are? Today, I'll explain neighbor tree liability like you're 5 years old. By the end, you'll know exactly whose insurance pays, and the one move that flips the whole thing in your favor. Quick disclaimer, this is legal education, not legal advice. Laws vary by state, so check your local rules or talk to an attorney. Now let's get into it, because what most people don't know about this rule costs them thousands. Picture this. It's the morning after a bad storm, and you walk outside to find half your backyard is gone. There's a massive oak tree, your neighbor's oak tree, lying across your fence, your flower beds, your car. Maybe it clipped your roof, and now you're standing there in pajamas, barefoot, staring at a situation that's going to cost thousands of dollars. We're talking fence replacement, landscaping damage, potential structural repairs. The kind of bill that doesn't just sting, it lingers. Your first thought is, that's their tree, so they're paying for this. You march next door and knock, and your neighbor opens the door, shrugs, and says, "I'm sorry, but I think you should call your insurance." And the sickening part is that they're not wrong. Welcome to the most counterintuitive rule in property law. Buried inside it is the one thing that flips it entirely. Here's the basic version. In most states, when a tree falls from one property onto another, the person whose property got damaged is the one who pays, not the tree's owner. You paid the deductible, and your insurance handles it. This is called the general negligence rule, and it sounds completely insane. But courts treat trees like weather. Nobody controls a storm, and nobody controls when a branch gives out. A tree falls, and courts call that an act of nature, so they won't hold someone responsible for something nature did. It's like blaming your neighbor because a hailstorm dented your car in their driveway. The hail didn't care whose property it was on, and the tree doesn't either. So your neighbor smiles, closes the door, and you're stuck calling your insurance company to explain why there's an oak tree in your living room. It sounds completely fair, and also completely wrong at the same time. Stick with me, because this rule has a massive exception, and your neighbor is praying you never find it. Here's the moment everything changes. That rule only applies when the tree was healthy. The second the tree was dead, diseased, leaning, or visibly rotting, the entire legal picture shifts away from an act of nature. Now we're talking about negligence. Your neighbor knew, or should have known, that tree was a hazard, and they did nothing about it. When it fell and wrecked your property, that's on them, and that's when their insurance pays. Courts use one word for this: notice. Did your neighbor know the tree was dangerous? Or could any reasonable person look at that tree and know? A rotten trunk with mushrooms growing out of it. 3 dead branches hanging directly over your roof. Bark that's splitting, peeling, or completely missing on one side. A reasonable person sees that and knows. Your neighbor sees that and knows. If they chose to do nothing, that's negligence. And negligence means liability. But here's the part that determines everything. You have to have actually told them. Not assumed they noticed, not hoped they'd figure it out, actually told them, in writing. Here's why that matters so much. If you send your neighbor a letter, even a text, saying, "Hey, that tree looks dead, I'm worried about it falling," and they do nothing, you've just handed a court the proof it needs. You created notice. They had knowledge of the risk and chose to ignore it. Now there's a paper trail that proves it. Their insurance company calls that a documented liability claim. They tend to take those seriously. Here's the part that surprises most people. If you never said anything, their lawyer will argue they had no idea the tree was dangerous. And that argument might actually work. So the single most important thing you can do right now, before anything falls, is look at every tree on your neighbor's property that hangs over yours. If any of them look sick, dead, or rotting, send a written notice. Text works, email is better, a certified letter is best. Keep the copy and date it. That one action is the difference between paying your deductible and your neighbor paying theirs. Now, what if the tree already fell? What if you're already standing in the damage? Here's what you need to do immediately. Take photos of everything before you touch a single branch. The tree, the damage, and specifically, the condition of the tree itself. Look at the stump. Is it rotten inside? Take a photo. Look at the trunk. Is it hollow, diseased, covered in fungus? Those photos are evidence that this tree was not healthy. That evidence turns your claim from act of nature to your neighbor's negligence. Document it before anyone removes anything. Once that tree is gone, your evidence goes with it. Cleanup crews move fast, sometimes within hours of a storm, and so does your leverage. Here's something most people skip entirely. Check for history. Did your city or county ever tag that tree as a hazard? Municipal records sometimes show complaints or inspections on dangerous tree. A quick call to your local public works department can tell you whether that tree was already flagged. If it was, that's not just evidence. That's a documented government record that your neighbor's property was a known risk. That changes everything about who knew what and when. Some municipalities keep these records going back years, which means the timeline of negligence could be longer than you think. In some cases, that paper trail stretches back far enough to establish a clear pattern of ignored risk. If there was damage to your car, a structure, or your home, file with your own insurance first. Your insurance company can then go after your neighbor's insurance in a process called subrogation. That's just a legal word for your insurance company doing the fighting for you. They want their money back. Let them go get it. You don't have to be the one knocking on that door again. And if your neighbor had been warned in writing about that tree, tell your insurance company immediately. That changes their entire conversation with your neighbor's insurer. That's the file they open and close in your favor. One more thing people get wrong. If branches from your neighbor's healthy tree hang over your property, you can legally trim them up to the property line. That's your right, but if you trim them badly, damage the tree, or go past the line, now you're the one with a liability problem. The law hands you the scissors. It also hands you the bill if you use them recklessly. Hire someone licensed and insured and get it in writing. Because a botched trim job can take a dispute where you were owed money and turn it into one where you owe money. The law is generous with your trimming rights. It is not forgiving about how you exercise them. So let's go back to that morning. Pajamas, barefoot, crushed fence, neighbor shrugging at the door. You used to walk away from that conversation feeling completely helpless. You don't anymore. If that tree was healthy, your insurance covers it. Frustrating, but survivable. If that tree was clearly dead or diseased, you have a negligence claim, especially if you have anything in writing showing they knew. If you have photos of that rotten stump, use them. If you warned them before this happened, that warning is now worth thousands of dollars. And if your city ever tagged that tree, that's the kind of record that ends a dispute before it starts. Most people pay and move on because they never knew about the notice rule. They never knew a single text message sent 6 weeks before a storm could flip the entire liability. Now you do. That's the superpower this video was always about. Here's what I want to know. Do you think the law should automatically make the tree owner responsible when their tree falls on a neighbor's property? Or does the current system actually make sense to you? Drop it in the comments. Because I have a feeling people are going to land on very different sides of this one. And your answer might be exactly what someone else needed to hear today. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe, and make sure to leave a comment on what topic you'd like to see next. Thanks for watching.